Attention-seeking nightmare Greta Thunberg is setting sail to Gaza again. This is her third attempt.
The story here is about Palestine. The story here is how people are being deliberately deprived of the very basic means to survive. And the story here is how the world can be silent and how those in power, those who are supposed to represent us, are in every possible way betraying and failing Palestinians and all oppressed peoples of the world.
We all remember the last time she attempted to do this. She claimed in a pre-recorded video that she had been kidnapped by Israelis when in fact she was given sandwiches and sent back home. Joining us now is independent journalist Brittany Hopper. Brittany, it is so good to see you again. I'm sorry to start with Greta Thunberg, but she's back on this selfie yacht with a whole bunch of other activists. I mean, how's this going to turn out for her?
Oh, Gab, you know how much I love my Greta, right? Oh, my goodness. Third time's a charm. But listen, here's the thing. She's going into a war-torn country. There are laws that she is breaking. You know, she's doing this for attention. We know this. Why hasn't she brought any attention to the 700,000 children starving in Sudan? I mean, come on. What is going on here? And if she really wants to bring attention to free the Palestinians, well, free them from Hamas, like we keep saying. So start talking about that. Start generating more, news about that. What she's doing is attention grabbing. We know this. She's anti-Israel all the way. We know that as well. We saw the pictures of her on the flight back that Israel sent her back home. Yes, with the sandwiches and this is just another media grab. And what they'll do is they'll turn her around again, and it'll be the same song and dance.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And it was just appalling that she refused to watch the video about the horrific events that took place on October 7 before she was sent back. We'll see if she's if she'll potentially watch it this time, we'll see. Now, Brittany, although you are in Florida now, you used to call LA home, and it's been 8 months since the devastating wildfires that ravaged parts of LA. Of course, the Palisades fire burnt through nearly 24,000 acres. There was so much destruction, and you and I have spoken about how poorly the disaster was handled from the very start and the whole way through due to the incompetence of California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass. Now, Donald Trump has blasted Newsom and Bass and raised concerns around the potential plans for low-income housing to be built. Take a listen.
Well, Los Angeles is an example. It's poorly run. We have a mayor there that can't even get permits to the people that lost their houses. Lee Zeldin got every permit. The hardest permit is the federal permit. Within 20 days, every single permit was there for the people to build their houses. But people are writing us, and they're saying they won't give us. The mayor is incompetent. The governor is incompetent. Gavin. I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of and he doesn't get the job done.
Brittany, what's the latest here, and what's really the sense from people on the ground in terms of just how long things are taking, the red tape that's involved, and of course, the concerns that residents have at this point?
Well, Gab, I mean, not only am I from Los Angeles, but also I was living right there in the Pacific Palisades. We had just sold our home 1 year prior to these fires, and we did extensive work together during that time. What happened was so devastating. And I think even back then, I was saying how it was so mismanaged. And yes, President Trump is 100% right. These two, the Mayor Bass and Gavin Newsom, are two of the most incompetent officials we have in America, period. What they've done to the state and city is horrific. What they have done. And to allow this, or to even talk about this was something that we were hearing about, and everyone's like, oh no, you're being a conspiracy theorist. Don't say that. That's not, they didn't, this is absolutely horrible for the people, the homeowners who are trying to rebuild, get permits. This was such a quaint, lovely, one of the most lovely neighborhoods in the country, in my opinion. And I know personally 20, 30 families who are dying to get back into their area and rebuild. They can't. They can't even get back there and get some of the trash and the fire debris off yet. It's been 8 months since these fires. And I also remember too, back then we were questioning, as a TV journalist reporter who covered extensively so many wildfires for so many years, my entire career. It was like a perfect storm. They knew the winds were coming. They didn't have anyone watching the fire hot spots. Then all of a sudden the fire starts and it was devastation. And then now they want to build affordable housing. I mean, it's something's not adding up, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look at what the leaders are doing now. You've got Karen Bass, who's there fighting against ICE deportations, and Gavin Newsom, who's focused on his podcast and trying to sound like Donald Trump while he's posting on X. It's just ridiculous. Look, Brittany, since we last spoke, the Democrats have been going crazy over Donald Trump's crime crackdown in Washington, D.C. Trump has now praised Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser for cooperating with his administration following the deployment of National Guard troops. He wrote on Truth Social, "Wow, Mayor Muriel Bowser of DC has become very popular because she worked with me and my great people in bringing crime down to virtually nothing in DC. Her statements and actions were positive instead of others like JB Pritzker, Wes Moore, Gavin Newsom, and the 5% approval rated mayor of Chicago, who spend all of their time trying to justify violent crime instead of working with us to completely eliminate it, which we have done in Washington, DC, now a crime-free zone." Brittany, I've said this before, but I think it is absolutely insane that we are seeing Democrats and parts of the mainstream media push back against this move, a move that is improving safety. If you look at the crime in Chicago, just this last Labor Day weekend, in Chicago, 54 people were shot and 7 were killed.
So here's the thing. I think that this is one of the biggest issues when we come with these like liberal cities and their policies. It was like a social experiment to see how far they can go, and then they're realizing that the crime has never been higher. And if you take a look at so many of the Democrat-run cities in America, I mean, the crime is at an all-time high. And so now they're starting to, oh no, what should we do? And I think that they really woke up a bit when President Trump got elected again. They started to notice that some of these policies might not be working, and a lot of people are pushing back. I have to say, and I always say this with the Democrat Party, they are the biggest hypocrites out there. They are the definition of hypocrisy. And mainstream media, which I was on for 18 years, they're right there with everyone else. Party that are hypocrites, in my opinion. So, but I'm not surprised to see some Democrats kind of going the other way, because I think they were getting so much pushback. Statistically, I mean, the stats are the stats, like what you just said over this Labor Day weekend in Chicago. I mean, every Democrat-run city in America, it has been poorly ran right now. And this little social experiment of the liberal policies, I think that they're starting to get pushed out. Let's hope. Although we don't know what's going to happen with the mayor race in New York City. We'll see about, the jihadi socialist. If he gets elected, oh, that's going to be another interesting experiment.
We'll be watching that very closely. Look, I want to talk to you about the declining birth rate. Here in Australia, it's at a record low. But this is an interesting piece of data. A new report from the Financial Times found that the declining birth rates around the world are overwhelmingly driven by people on the left having fewer kids. Now, that is, of course, not a big surprise to me when you've got crazy lefties saying that they won't be in a relationship because Donald Trump is president. And of course, there are plenty of people out there saying they're not going to be having children because of climate change. Brittany, what are your thoughts? What do you put this down to?
I'm going to try and be a little politically correct here, even though I never am. I mean, listen, as a mother, I'm so happy to hear that more and more progressives are not giving birth and starting families, because they're the ones who are ultimately going to be voting for these policies that we know and we see aren't working. So this is really great news. Keep progressives and liberals, stop making babies and make America and this world great again.
Oh, Brittany, I absolutely love it. Well, finally, we do have to get to probably the best news, the most important piece of news that we are covering here on Power Hour, your personal news that you are newly engaged. Congratulations. We are so thrilled for you.
Yes, thank you so much. As I mentioned, I'm a mommy, so I was previously married. Oh, there he is. He's such a good looking Jewish doctor.
He's
I
very
mean, come on.
lucky. He's a very lucky man.
Thank you. Yeah, well, listen, second chance at love. We are both divorced and we're bringing children together, blending our families from previous marriages, and so it's like I feel very blessed and very grateful. Yeah, thank you for acknowledging it. It's been a whirlwind, but I'm so happy and so blessed. I'm very grateful.
Oh,
It's
we are
amazing.
so happy for you, and we're wishing you all the love, health, happiness, and success in the world, and a lifetime of happiness together. Brittany Hopper, it has been wonderful to speak to you again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.